Hey, good evening, everybody. It's your boy Eric Buck. EB is in the building, and welcome yet again to Get Off My Lawn Live. Get Off My Lawn Live is here in effect. I am your host Eric Buckner, and today, as well as discussing our usual hot topics, and yeah, some of them are mostly the same stuff we've been discussing the last few weeks. To be honest, we're gonna get into a couple issues that I'm having, and also a discussion that was put on my radar by one of the listeners. So we'll have that discussion as well. So let's get into it, folks. How are you guys? To be honest, guys, I'm not so great today. I'm happy to be here with you to have these discussions and give y'all my thoughts on it, tell you what's going on my side of the lawn. But overall, not doing all that great. Got some issues. We'll talk about it over the course of the show. And yes, I've been challenged by one of the listeners to implement a skill that people don't necessarily know I have. A few of you may, but we'll get into that near the end. But anyway, let's get into the show here. Uh, I know some of y'all will join in as time go on, a little late and whatnot. I usually start a couple minutes early. So while I'm letting everybody jump on in, let me go ahead and get my devices set up. Because as y'all know, I will know some of you and who you are based on what's going on. But others I will not know until I do this here with my devices so I can know who's saying what by one of the listeners. So, okay, hold on. Let me get that together. Yeah, I know it takes me a second to do that. Still working out that end of the technology, people. Let me get that together. All right, here we go. Turn that down. So now I can see who's in the house. I see my cuz Marquez is in the house. What's going on, cuz? Shout out to you. He's got his own business down there in Missouri. They're doing the well, actually put that information up if you would, cuz. Put in the comments for people. He does detailing, car detailing, and he is doing good things. He's doing stuff for veterans and people with low income, and it's a good thing. So yeah, put your information up if you would, cuz, so people can know where to find you, what your business is doing, all that good stuff. I want to give you that shout out. Also, I see my friend Amy is in the house. Hello, friend Amy. How are you? I love when Amy comes in because, of course, Amy serves as my research department if she has time, and my fact checker as well. So thank you, Amy, for joining me. Appreciate it. As you know, chime in whenever. You know you got that right here on the show. So, okay, people, let's get into our hot topics here. Like I said, a lot of this will be familiar to you. I'm just basically giving you an update of what's going on in the world as I know it. So, of course, one of the big topics is the fact that yes, the president, the one presently in charge, that guy whose name I hate to say out loud, I basically get upset with myself when I slip and say it sometimes. He does not get my respect because he has not earned my respect. And of course, the things he are doing now that are further adding to that thought processes. For example, of course, he still refuses to concede that he has lost the election. He will not admit to it publicly. He constantly tweeting that there's election things going foul and millions of votes were compromised and mail-in votes and all that good stuff. He still won't let up on it. I'm saying behind the scenes, slowly but surely, he's starting to accept that, yeah, he's lost, but still not willing to publicly admit that. And of course, most of the major Republicans in the party refuse to do so as well. Although behind the scenes, again, they're making the transition possible. However, the transition funds that the president-elect Joe Biden needs to get things started and situated, as long as valuable information in regards to the defense of the country, security, as well as what's going on with the virus and what's going on as they plan on implementing it. They want to get connected with the people that's already working on it so they can start to formulate a plan. So when he takes over January 20th, he can be off and running on this thing. But of course, they still blocking all those things in the Congress and in the White House. So stay tuned for that. Of course, all these lawsuits that they're putting out here, one by one, are getting struck down as nonsense or not enough evidence, what have you. It's a big old mess still, I'm afraid. It was 2 weeks ago that we did the vote, and 2 weeks later, here we are still playing these political games. Meanwhile, we got bigger problems to deal with. Because as you know, of course, the virus is spreading rampant. For the 14th day in a row, I believe now, we've had over 100,000 cases throughout the United States. Very troubling. Basically, an average of 1,100 people per day are dying from the virus here in the United States alone. There's other countries having big crime problems with it too. Brazil, Iran, Russia still to a degree, a few other South American countries. Interestingly enough, several, actually most of the African nations, this is not as big a problem. I find that interesting. I don't know if it's because they're not reporting the numbers or they just not getting that type of the illness case that we get in here. Don't hear enough about what goes on in foreign countries to know for sure, but I am kind of interested in that. I'm gonna try to do a little bit more research into that. But anyway, the comments is jumping here. Let me see what we got going. Okay, research partner, well, thanks for asking. Yes, I'm glad you are well. Me, not so much, Amy. We're gonna get into it in a minute. Let's see what we got. Okay, that is my cousin. Again, my cousin Anthony. He's got his business is on the go mobile detail. Mobile detail. We come to you. In other words, they're mobile, so they'll come to where you are in Missouri and they will clean your vehicle for you. And he's put the number on there for you. I will definitely pass that information along to the people here. And also, I believe you're a member on the Get Off My Lawn information page. Feel free to put that information on there as well, cuz, so we can get you situated. Okay. Just call him Voldemort. You have to explain that one to me, Amy. I'm sure that's a reference to a show that I probably have not seen, but yeah, it probably fits. H2 is in the building. Helena Hologram. I have a message for you, Helena Hologram. We'll get to that in a second. Let me get to some of these other comments. And of course, everybody saying hi to everybody. I love when they do that. You know, there's the show beyond the show within the show in the comments. So by all means, greet each other, talk about what's going on, what have you. Okay, Amy has a statement here. Question. I wonder if in Africa the cases are lower because there's so much open air or maybe less tourism. Perhaps, Amy, perhaps. I imagine diet and overall atmosphere and everything plays into some of that. No doubt about it. But okay, again, back to the hot topics here. Okay, of course, we talked about the clownery that's going on in the White House. And of course, the only time this guy comes out is last week to announce that there is the vaccine coming and his warp speed plan is in effect, and it was all him. He made it happen. Then, of course, he comes out for the rally on Saturday. The MAGA rally, we're not even going to waste no energy with that. Bottom line is he took the time to come out and wave to the folks on his way to the golf course. Find it real interesting. You got time to go play golf in the middle of all this foolishness, but so be it. Anyway, of course, in other news in regards to that, the recount has begun in Georgia, and they are finding no discrepancies to speak of at this point. No surprise there. They had a vote here in regards to certifying the vote here in Wayne County, and I guess they're in a deadlock. 2 people said yes, 2 people said no. So that's going to be an issue, and I'm sure he'll be tweeting about that at some point this evening, because anything that's holding up the certification of the vote, he's very interested in right now, obviously. Of course, another thing in regards to pandemic and whatnot, the second vaccine came out this week. Moderna came out with their results, and they said that their vaccine is 94.5% effective. That's even better than the 90% effective that the Pfizer vaccine that the results came out last week said. So, of course, now it's looking like we'll have at least 2 vaccines that'll be up and going probably sometime next month after they file the appropriate paperwork and whatnot. Basically, Pfizer saying they're ready to put that paperwork in immediately. So perhaps by the end of Thanksgiving, even they might start approving that for emergency usage. Again, it goes to, are you going to take it? Are you not going to take it? We had a pretty good discussion about that last week. People voice their opinions. Most of them agree like me. At the moment, I don't think so. Maybe. We'll have to see how it plays out. But anyway, the way it's set up right now, I'm like in the lower tier of the people that would get it right away anyway. So I have time to figure it out. Okay, a couple more comments, folks. Let's see what we got. Amy explaining this. Voldemort. Voldemort is the bad guy in Harry Potter. They are afraid to say his name. Oh, I got you. Never saw a Harry Potter movie. That's why I don't know. Yeah, I know. People like, really? Nope. Not 1 minute of any of them I have seen. Yeah. You see what H2 had to say about that. Trying to keep my profanity down, but y'all can read. Amy says, my friend L. Lynn Wood is suing the Secretary of State in Georgia, claiming overreach and requiring signatures to match on ballots. Good for them, because that's all BS. And you know it's about to be a big old mess down in Georgia because, of course, the two senators that we need to be Democrats so that the Democrats can gain control of the Senate are going to have to come from Georgia. And, of course, because of how their elections are set up, there will be some type of revote on January 5th, and they're going to put a lot of money into that on both sides. It's going to get real messy, I'm sure. Princess Leia's in the house. What's up, Leia? What's going on? Thanks for joining us. Yeah, Amy saying hello to Leia and vice versa, and H2 saying hello, Leia. That's what's up. Y'all keep speaking to each other. We all fam here. Okay. So, of course, back to the discussion. All right, so the other thing that they're working on, of course, is the coronavirus stimulus relief. Now, the thing was we kind of were in a stalemate the last couple of weeks because of the election, but now the talks have ramped up, mainly for two reasons. One, since the virus is so out of hand now, states are starting to put lockdown type orders in place. We're going to talk about the one in Michigan momentarily here. But that leads to people saying, okay, knowing we have to do this to control the spread, we in turn need help. And the help we need is from the government, who was supposed to work for this months ago. Remember, the HEROES Act was passed by the House of Representatives in May. And of course, now it's almost near the end of November, and we still have no progression from that. And of course, the Republicans want to blame the Democrats. Democrats want to blame the Republicans. The bottom line is half of Congress has set it all up. Here's the bill. They even went back and said, okay, y'all say this too much, we'll cut it down. Here's the bill now. But on the other hand, the Republicans, they come with, so this and this is not meeting. This is where we're at. They all say we need some type of stimulus, obviously, because people need help. But yet they can't seem to get the two sides together. It's crazy right now. So that's that. Like I said, they're still working on it. Remember, Congress will end basically for the end of the year, sometime second week of December, I believe. So they need to figure that out between now and then. Otherwise, we'll have to wait till basically Joe gets in office, and by that time, that's going to put people in a lot of bad situations. Myself being one of them at the moment. Again, we'll have that discussion in a moment. Let's see. Anyway, that's pretty much that for the hot topics. Again, let's go back to the comments here. Let's see what we got going. Yes, hashtag the show within the show. Absolutely, Amy. You know how I feel about that. And Amy said, I'm about to be the same, getting my baby to bed soon. Yeah, as you see, I have on my nightcap because basically after I get done doing the show and watching one of my favorite shows on TV right now, This Is Us, I'm going back to bed. Why bed so early? Well, people, we about to get into it. So let's have this discussion, shall we? Basically, this involves a little thing I call COVID fatigue. Now, keep in mind, I'm basically in a boat that a lot of people who are unemployed are in at the moment. I'm getting my unemployment. Took a while to get it, but I'm getting it. Of course, it got cut because they cut everything July 31st as far as the extra unemployment benefit to $600. And yeah, I know we'll get into that whole, okay, 600 was too much. And put that aside for a minute, people. I disagree with you, but let's not go there at the moment. The issue is that more people who are getting these unemployment benefits than not are in need of them right now. Here's the thing. I am a person who lost 2 jobs due to COVID. Okay. Now, the one job will be back online once we all get back online. I've been in constant contact with my boss. He assures me that things are definitely good. He's even reached out and sent money at times to help out things, and I appreciate it, boss. We have a company policy about putting people's names and stuff of our company in the Facebook. So beyond that acknowledgement, I will not tell you any further details. But yeah, he'll probably see this. Thank you, boss. Appreciate you. Hang in there. But as far as my other job is not coming back. The pandemic has basically killed it for good. So I will need to replace that. Now I can do something similar to that job at some point, but again, that will depend on when the pandemic starts to get to its little inkling stages once again, for it to be a profitable endeavor for me. And of course, there is the fact that I can cook. For some of you who go on my page and see that I cook things, yes, I do cook and I do catering and whatnot. I have not done that during the pandemic for obvious reasons, but at some point I will get back to doing that as well. Right now, like I said, it's not a complete struggle here in my household. We making do. We doing all right, but things is getting real tight. They are getting real tight. Now, of course, if we would have had everything approved and whatnot, I'd be doing okay right now. Would not be an issue. Could ride the storm a little longer. But because of that, at this point, I'm at a point where I have to make some decisions, some hard ones. Because, like I said, on the one hand, in an ideal world, I would like to go back to doing the 2 jobs I was doing pre-pandemic. Because I like both jobs. Had love for both of them. I was very comfortable. Things were progressing. I was actually doing a good little business before the pandemic jumped off in March. Things was progressing nicely, but like I said, COVID threw all that off track. So now I'm looking at, okay, job possibilities, and of course, people for whatever reason have been sending me information about jobs. I've been looking into them and whatnot. I appreciate them, but I know part of y'all sending it because one, you kind of concerned about my well-being and talking to me and whatnot. And I get that. And some of y'all just tired of hearing me spout off about this. You like the show, but you don't like what I talk about because you feel like I need to get some business. And if I was working and whatnot, I know about some of these conversations that went on outside of the book and whatnot. Y'all know the number. Talk to me about it. I'm here to tell you, yeah, I'm not too happy with some of the stuff y'all doing, to be honest. And I'm looking you in the camera in the eyes, I'm saying this. Some of y'all are the cause of the problems that we're having with the COVID. And I hate that it has put us in a position to where we have to put blame or basically look at each other as, okay, your actions is affecting things and whatnot. But quite frankly, I think they are. I'm going to be honest with you. Part of Get Off My Lawn was to voice my opinions on what's going on in my world. This is my opinion. Again, this is the opinion of the host, Eric Buckner, and Get Off My Lawn Live. It does not basically to anybody else that's involved in the show or any of my Nighthawk Network affiliates. So that being said, I feel that some of y'all are being very unwise in your decision making, trying to get out of calling people stupid and idiotic and ignorant, because some of that it's not because of that. I mean, granted, some people, y'all put in a position where you got to do what you got to do, and I completely get that. I understand that. I respect that. But bottom line is, people are doing things that are detrimental to this whole process. Now, let me get some of these comments, okay? Amy is saying, hold on, Amy. Anyone saying that $600, $900 a week is too much for unemployment needs to try a budget a family without SNAP benefits and pay bills like that. People, average rent in America is $1,100 a month. Average rent. Now, some of y'all live out in California and New York. $1,100, you love that right now. That's a joke to you guys, because out there in those two particular areas, average rent is more like $1,600 to $1,800. And that might just be for an apartment, a studio apartment in some places. So $1,800, $600 a month times 4, do the math, people. And then some of these unemployment, you know, we get $362 a week in unemployment here in Michigan, where some of y'all is, it's even less than that. Some places it's 200 something a week and whatnot. If you have a household with a family and whatnot, anyway, I digress. Amy's still waiting for determination on unemployment over here. And from what we talked about with Amy, this has been going on for months. She's been waiting now. She got kids over there. I mean, prayers, Amy, prayers. Hopefully they'll do something for you soon. Elena agrees with you, Amy. Amy said, I'm taking certification course for medical coding and billing because I can't go back to bartending. Yes, Amy, you are in similar boat because, you know, most of my experience job-wise is in the service industry that involves food and people and what have you. And most of those jobs that I normally would go and seek out at this point, they are jobs that probably would not work out well because of how things are being set up right now. So before I get back to some of these comments, I ain't gonna forget about y'all, but hold on. We need to talk about what's going on here in Michigan. Now, as of tomorrow morning, basically 12:01, we are in another partial lockdown here in Michigan. And it affects primarily the restaurant industry, okay, I'm losing it, y'all. I ain't been sleeping good. That's another thing. When you don't sleep good, it affects your cognitive functions. You can always tell when I have slept good because my memory starts to slip. But anyway, basically the bars, the gyms, places of that nature, the casinos, they will be shut down for at least 3 weeks starting tomorrow. And of course, people are up in arms about that because it's affecting their livelihood. The last thing anybody wanted was to lock down in the first place. And Lord knows we didn't want it to last as long as it did. But in the end, that was the case. And now, of course, they're looking to do it again. And of course, they asked the governor, she says, well, after 3 weeks, we'll look at the numbers and make a redetermination at that point. I'm pretty sure she wanted to do it for longer. And she's not the only governor, actually, that's doing these lockdowns. In other states, they're locking down even more so. But yet, because she is one of the president's favorite targets, he is quick to have him or someone in his administration point out that she's doing these things and it's affecting what's going on here. Now, in the meanwhile, she also, along with the other governors in the Midwest, put out a joint press conference today, basically telling Congress, hey, we need these funds. We need these COVID funds so we can help fund things that are helping our businesses, our people, our infrastructure. And of course, they're not trying to do that at this point. Too much big little going on. And, you know, they blame the states that's shutting down because, okay, you're hurting your own cause by doing the shutdown. You know that we as an administration don't approve of any shutdowns. We want business to keep going on as usual. The virus, we can be worked through and whatnot. Despite the fact that we're not giving you enough to help out with it, you still can do it. Other states are doing it. And look at some of those other Republican states. Take South Dakota in particular, the state where there is no mask mandate and the positivity rate, that means when they get to testing everybody, how many people actually are coming in positive as opposed to negative, is over 50%. So basically every other person that they're testing is coming up positive for COVID over the last week. That's crazy. That's real crazy. And yes, again, the vast majority of all people that will contract COVID-19 will not be dead when all is said and done. They will probably get the virus, have some mild symptoms or even no symptoms, and it will pass and they will move on. But again, people, over 248,000 people to date have died here in the United States of COVID-19. Please do not overlook that. 248,000 of anything is a lot. 248,000 people dead is not a good thing. It's so bad in one city in Texas, they have hired the inmates to help load bodies into freezer trucks because there's so many people dying at once, they don't have the time to properly process them all. It's that bad in some places. This is very, very serious problem. And again, certain people are not taking it seriously. And quite frankly, some of them are people in my family. There are people in my family right now. And yeah, I understand you may be upset by this, but I'm going there. Y'all have left town. You are out and about on vacation and whatnot. And yes, you are fully within your rights to have a vacation. You work hard, you have the money to do so, you go. But in the same token, you know how bad the situation is. And some of you, be quite honest, one in particular, and you know who you are. I hope you listening, or at least will tune in at this point, 25:30. Okay, let people know. You left town because of the fact that the restrictions were going down here, and you chose to go somewhere where there were not any restrictions. And that is the primary reason why you left, because you wanted to have fun. It was more important for you to have fun during your birthday time than to be here stuck with not being able to be out and about. And I pray to God that you are safe and you are being safe and that nothing happens. And in the end, this is just the old guy talking smack, and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and you'll be fine. But there's that possibility. And this is where the dilemma comes in, folks, because yeah, you can't live your life based on, okay, what might happen. And I get that. I understand that. I understand that. But in the same token, what's wrong with erring on the side of caution? Some of y'all that said, mask, shit, I ain't wearing that. They ain't gonna tell me what to do. They trying to control me. They trying to control my actions. This is America. I'm not having that. Well, guess what? In other countries, they requesting that as well. And they saying these same things, and they having these same problems we're having. And that's why the virus is spreading so rampantly around the world right now. Because not the fact that government cares or don't care. Again, I don't blame the current administration for why this is as bad as it is. They do play a key part in it, true enough, but it's not entirely their fault. The main problem is that we, the people, are not doing enough to help we, the people, okay? Plain and simple. And it frustrates me. Quite frankly, it's helped to keep me up at night. Yes, these are some of the things that I think about. And keep in mind, I have a rule now that after 12, no news, okay? Don't do no news. I turn off CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, whatever I'm watching. No news. I turn on Netflix. I watch some of these old shows that's new again to some of you guys. The Moeshas, the girlfriends, the um half and half, the Parkers. This is what I watch at night. And it helps to keep my mind off it to a degree, but pretty much at some point in my evening, at least the last week or two, I wake up, it's 4 in the morning, and I can't go back to sleep. And so I'm up. And then it's back and forth like that for hours at a time. Now the problem is, one, to have that broken sleep pattern is never a good thing. Keep in mind, I always have suffered from sleep apnea throughout my life. It's just only gotten worse as I've gotten older. But in the same token, all this extra stuff on my mind does not help. I know it's on my mind still because in my dreams, I'm actually dreaming about what's going on TV, but yet I'm adding what the scenario is in terms of it. So yeah, it's a bad thing. And I know as I'm telling you these things, that might cause some of you concern or worry. But please, don't worry, I'm okay. I'm working through it. God is with me. It's not as bad as I'm making it out to be to a degree, but I do have those concerns because unlike a lot of people in my viewpoint right now, I do care about everybody else. So yeah, I'm concerned about my family members that's out and about in other places because the thing is, yeah, at least when you are at home and you know what's going on in your neighborhood and society, you have obviously a plan for it. You in these other places now. Let's just say it go real wrong these next week or so, and they got a lockdown, and you got to basically stay there. Remember how people were on the little cruise ships, and then suddenly they couldn't go nowhere? They wouldn't let them off the ship. What if certain states decide to do that? Who knows what might transpire these next couple months? Have you made a contingency plan for these things? Are these things you think about? Or are you just thinking it'll be okay? Let's just go have fun. Is it all about the fun? Is it all about because I got extra money? and the tickets are so cheap and whatnot, this is the best time to go? Is that your thought process? I got a couple stories for you. Hold on. Let me get into some of these comments before I go there. Amy says, I think if you're going into IT, do a certification for A plus will be a great start. Okay. Leah says, Amy, since A plus is the basis, I'm definitely going to start there. I thought about it many years ago. Basically talking about some job possibilities. That's a good thing. One person is too many. H2, absolutely. And before I go there, let me get into this message to you, H2. H2, you did your show last night. H2's show, by the way, is entitled, hold on, y'all. That's right, Hey Bitches. Comes Monday nights, 9 p.m., okay? Hey Bitches, 9 p.m. Now, basically the problem that we had last night with the show was things was going good. It was a good conversation, but H2 was having some technical difficulties. And as a result, she could not finish the show the way she would have liked. And of course, she was very apologetic this morning to us. H2, no need to apologize. We all been having technical problems with some of these shows as time go on. We all, with the exception of a couple of our partners, we learn this process, but even they have technical difficulties from time to time. It's understandable. It's okay. I said it still was a good show. I really like the discussion you had about student athletes and people putting all their eggs into my child gonna be a superstar basket, and they shouldn't. They need to concentrate on education more. I definitely agree with that opinion. That was a good view. Like I said, you'll work out the technical difficulties as time goes on. It's okay. You keep doing you. It's a good show. You had people in the house and in the building, and those people supported you, and they'll be back next time around. And perhaps you get a few more views as I had this discussion here on my broadcast. Again, it's Hey Bitches Monday night. Usually it's at 9 p.m. If anything has changed, 9 in, H2 will let you know. Feel free to put that information in the comments as well, H2, so people know where to find you, okay? So that's that. Okay, back to the comments, folks. I had my guys finish up certification for it. They're still talking about the job stuff there. Maryland is shutting down as well. Yep. Prayers for you and the family. Thank you, H2. I appreciate it. Okay, got some comments here. My guy Hugh Lee's checking in. Gonna have a discussion with Hugh Lee tomorrow. We're gonna talk some sports. Talk about that a little bit more here at the end. Hugh Lee is saying, tell it like it is, E. Absolutely, Hugh. He says, if I had a chance right now, I definitely wouldn't be at my job. We are considered essential workers. I used to work where Hugh works. I understand that. We ain't gonna put out what that place is, but glad I got out of there, Hugh. It really doesn't make sense to me because we never have enough essential things. Hold on. That are essential things that our customers need. So it's an essential place, but the things that people primarily are looking for there, they have not kept in stock. And you're not the only place that has that problem. You absolutely. And cousin in the house. Hey, Dr. Marla Facey, what's going on? She is in the house. Her show is Monumental Moments in God's Word. It comes on Thursday evenings. So please check that out as well. They are all part of my Nighthawk Network. As always, I will give my shout outs to them when the show is over. And also, we got Auntie Nikki in the house. Auntie Nikki from the Dish and Tea Show with Big Meech, Auntie Nikki, and the Big Red Guy Ally. Shout out to you guys. She is here. It's all good, Nikki. Thanks for joining. Better late than never. You in the house is all that matters. Like I said, security is essential here in the DC metro area. We have to have papers IDing us as we go to and from work. And yeah, and the bottom line is the job that I will probably seek out and get will be some in the essential worker field of understanding. Because of course, why would I seek to get a job in a position to where the virus gets worse again? And here we are shutting stuff back down. Now we know as they implement the vaccine, and that basically helps to control the spread and whatnot, they'll start opening more and more things back up, and things will get some sense of normalcy. I still would warn that 2021, at least that first half of 2021, is probably still going to be kind of all over the place. And people are starting to have that understanding because they're already starting to make adjustments. They are basically saying that, for example, the March Madness It's going to be in one location, a little bubble type scenario for them. Today they announced that Mardi Gras, as far as the big parades and all that go, they're pretty much going to scale them down or cancel them altogether. It will still be a Mardi Gras, mind you, because Mardi Gras is considered a religious holiday. So they will still have Mardi Gras in New Orleans, but most of those big activities they are pretty much going to shut down. They already have shut down the Winterfest here in Michigan. You know, that's usually a big thing. A lot of people come downtown to check that out for a couple weeks. Not going to do that this year. And you know, it's already certain things here that they are not looking to do because at this point, 2021, we figure we still gonna be in bad shape as far as the virus goes. All right, we got Will Muhammad in the house. His show is Lions Pure and Uncut. It comes on Sundays at 12. Shout out to you, Will. What's going on? Okay, Leia, hey, saying hey to everybody. Yep, that is Elena's information. Hey, bitches live Monday nights at 9 p.m. So again, back into the subject at hand, folks. Like I said, I'm a little concerned. I need to figure some things out. Bottom line is, we'll be working somewhere soon, just not sure where. But in the meantime, that COVID situation, as far as them getting the funding together, that will not just help me, but millions of Americans help get themselves together until they figure out what the next move is, or until they can actually go back to the jobs that they were doing pre-pandemic, the ones that actually enjoyed it, the ones that actually qualified for. Because, like I said, there's other people in the entertainment industry. Like I said, in the catering industry, like myself, in the restaurant industry, we can't go back to quote unquote normal until things go back to quote unquote normal. So in the meanwhile, we still have to figure out some type of work to do until then. And then of course there'll be that discussion. Okay, well, you here now. Do you keep this job that you got? Or do you go back to what you were doing? Do you try to keep them both? Do you get a job and you look at it, okay, I'm only gonna be here for a few months, so it don't matter what I do? You have to be concerned about what's the safety protocol that said job, because part of why they're shutting things down in Michigan is because some people they are definitely following everything to the T, to the letter. They're being extra safe. They got all this going on in there, and they're not really getting any real spread with that's being linked to their place of business. But on the other hand, people similar to them doing similar restaurant type work, they are coming up with spreads. And as a result, the bad is helping to punish the good in this. It would be nice if you could be like, okay, well, this place had this many cases, you shut down, this place didn't, you keep going. But there's no real fair way to do that. So this is the way they chose to do it. And yeah, they could have really shut stuff down like they did the first time, but they feel like that would be more detrimental than not. So they're trying to figure out some way to work it all out. And we all got to kind of make our own way with it. But like I said, some people I feel are making unwise decisions, and we are suffering because of those unwise decisions, plain and simple. Now, like I said, some people they out here, there's a person on my Instagram page, and I won't out them per se, but basically they partying constantly. Seem like every other week they doing some type of party or they at some type of party, some underground scenario, whatnot, and you see masks, but they're not really wearing them. They doing all type of non-social distancing stuff. They having a good old time, and under normal circumstances, do you? Don't care. Have fun. Love it. But now it's not wise. One and two, the fact that you are broadcasting these things makes it even worse in my eyes. Because yeah, it'd be different if you're doing these things and it don't really affect nobody but yourself at the most. But these things lead to the spread of the virus right now. Like I said, you may be completely and totally fine. No symptoms, no nothing. But in the same token, you are now a spreader. And you spreading it to people and they are not fine. They end up being hospitalized. One of the people that I work with at one of my places that is closed down, come to find out this week, they contracted the virus. Now, this person basically has been like myself, ain't really been nowhere, ain't really done nothing. The difference is they have a household of younger people. And those younger people been living their life. They've been doing them. And pretty much the thought process is that they contracted the virus because one of their children, who's back and forth out in the world doing them, gave the virus to them. And now they're hospitalized. And it's not looking good for them. And keep in mind, this is not an unusual story. Several stories like that are being told throughout the country, throughout the world. One of the people that I was involved with at some point in life had a similar story. They basically contracted the virus from their daughter going back and forth. And last I heard, that daughter has been not doing too good. She blames herself. It's not completely her fault, but yet, more than likely, like I said, because it's an invisible virus, it doesn't say, okay, well, yeah, that person definitely got it. Stay away from them. Who's to really say? But in the same token, we know what helps to not cause it as much. We know what helps to not spread it as much. But yet, some of us, we adhere to that. We listen to it. We try to abide by it the best way we can. Some people, fuck it, I'm going to do me. And doing me is doing people and doing them forever. Okay, I got all kind of comments. Now, hold on. I got to get into some of this. All right, folks, hold on. Give me a minute to rifle through some of these, okay? All right. Yeah, we've been there already. What up, Will? Everybody saying what up? All right, there we go. Pure and Uncut Lions Football Talk with Coach V and me. The proper title for that. Thank you very much, Will. He is usually on 12 noon on Sundays. Definitely check him out. They have good discussion. It's not just sports talk, but they also discuss things like we discuss here. Definitely check it out. To learned people, to world travel people in terms of their backgrounds and whatnot. They have a good discussion. They also have some good guests. He plans on having a real good guest on this Sunday, a female author. Put the name of that author if you would, Will. Definitely want y'all to check that out. Sounds real good. Okay, Nikki says, I will not be a part of the new Tuskegee experiment, so I don't want that vaccine. And like I said last week, a lot of y'all voiced that very same opinion. Take it to God and leave it there. He was all worried, worked it out. Amen. Thanks for your prayers. H2, appreciate it. Everybody speaking to everybody still. Because can't blame you. If I had stayed in the reserves, I wouldn't have had a choice. And yes, a lot of people's cases, they won't have a choice. They will be required to take it. Yep, everybody agreeing with that opinion. Hold on, folks. H2 said, let all the rich white people get it first. Well, that's one way to do it, I suppose. Yep. Amen. Thank you, cuz. Hell yes, that's H2. Okay, Will says she couldn't shut things down like last night because the court said it was illegal. And of course, yes, there is a lawsuit in place that is saying that again, she should not be allowed to do this again. We'll see how all that plays out. Like I said, it's tough because, like I said, I know business owners, particularly in the restaurant industry, and I know things are bad for them right now. I know they're hurting. Even with everything being quote unquote open and normal, it will be bad because some people like myself are just not out doing restaurants right now. They don't feel like it's safe. So they're not even getting the normal business they would be getting. So it's a struggle even with that. So if you make that struggle even more so with these restrictions, yeah, bottom line, some of these restaurants, they're not going to make it. It's the sad truth of the matter. They're not going to. I mean, the restaurant business in and of itself is a hard business to make a profit in for most because of how it's set up. So especially if you're a business that just opened around before this happened and you're trying to build up a clientele and what have you, and then you got COVID, then the shutdowns and whatnot, it's going to be acts of God that's going to help you make it through, basically, because you don't have much help right now. Sadly. Okay. Because I'm feeling the same thing. Will saying people are gonna keep doing them because they don't think this will get to them. Exactly. It's not coming close enough to their household. It's been 8-9 months now, right? People, they hear about stuff on the news for those that still listen. I mean, some people I know, they don't even listen to the news because they don't want to hear the same stuff. They don't care to hear about it. They tune it out. That's their way of not acknowledging that it exists. And so they didn't went out here and they good and they ain't got sick, so they figure they're not gonna get sick. They're gonna be fine. And then there's the few people in my Facebook that might be watching this. They didn't have the virus and they lived through it and they feeling fine. And they out here like, well, I done had it now. They feel like the president supposedly does. Okay, well, I've had it, so now I'm immune. It don't matter if I ain't got to worry about getting it or whatnot. So I'm going to do me. But again, have we fully established that once you get the virus, you will never get it again? Has that been truly tested in theory by scientists and whatnot and proven to be the case? Have there not been people who've had cases of COVID-19 and supposedly passed the virus and are once again sick from COVID-19? Yes, there are a few of those cases being reported. Not a lot of them, but no. Okay, let's see what else we got. With Muhammad, especially these young kids out here, and yes, they said that over 1 million people who are children have contracted the virus. Out of all those 11 million plus cases, 1 million of them have been children. Now, again, there's a very, very, very small rate of death among people under 18 in regards to the virus. Extremely small. And another interesting fact that people didn't know, these two vaccines that's coming out, do you realize neither one of them have been tested on children? According to the reports I saw, neither one of these vaccines have been tested on children. So they don't know if it works for them. Out of that 90 to 94% efficiency rate, that doesn't include anyone's children, nor does it include anyone who is pregnant, because it was not tested on people who are pregnant either. They are looking to do that now, but let's just say it doesn't work quite so well for kids. Then what? But it's already out here, already being dispensed. Then they have to come up with something for kids. So, okay, now all the adults can be all right, but then the kids it could get real stupid. Guinea pigs. Going back to that scenario, guinea pigs. Because in the end, 5 to 10 years it takes for a vaccine to be properly researched and vetted. This one, 8-9 months. In essence, we all guinea pigs on this one. That's just what it is. Okay, hold on. More comments. They're coming fast and furious. I ain't mad. The young people could be doing stuff to get their elders out the way. Some just don't care at all. Sad but true, cuz. H2 says that now that we are at the start of the flu season, it's not helping. Because yes, this is the time of year where people get sick, not only from the flu, you got pneumonia, bronchitis, you got real bad colds, all of that comes into play. And people tend to get more injured during the winter time. Think about all the snow and people falling and all that type of stuff. Nick says facts, because it's unfortunate to think that the way, but how could people think they are immune? Again, these are their thoughts. They have these assumptions. They don't know enough about the facts to know whether or not they're fully immune. To some degree, they may be. But again, they've done studies to show that, okay, some people, as the months go on, the antibodies that's fighting the virus to where they don't have it now, those tend to be lessened. So these are things people, basic person ain't not going to take the time to figure all that out and learn about that. Sadly true. My daughter works at the casino. She just bought a house. Please keep her in your prayers. Thank you. Not only just her, but anybody that's suffering from COVID-19 right now, anybody that's suffering from the effects of COVID-19. You all are in my prayers, and I'm sure in many of yours, because we all in this together right now. And for those of you who care about your fellow person, who cares about what harms them or hurts them or affects them, it in turn affects you that way. But unfortunately, one thing that 2020 is starting to show me, at least, is that some people, they are very self-centered and selfish in general. They don't care about nobody but themselves. Like I said, I may be wrong about that, but from what I can see in certain instances, that appears to be the case. Okay, Will says she needs to work with the legislators so they can come up with things that can be enforced. And at some point, we all need to get some more cooperation in terms of it. Like I said, the worst thing that could have happened, Will, and you may or may not agree with me, is that this pandemic happened during an election year, where it has become more of a political issue than an issue of humanity. The fact that in order for states to come up with proper things, they have to fight amongst the legislature and the executive branch. And like I said, Michigan is not the only state having these issues. Wisconsin, Ohio, basically the governor's coming out saying one thing, and then let's say like, hold on. We didn't have no say so on that. Here go the lawsuit. It's these lawsuits that's popping up everywhere these last couple of days as people starting to shut down. New York, California, you can look it up. Everybody not on the same page with a lot of this stuff. These governors are basically looking at it like, okay, I'm the main person in charge. I got to do what I got to do. These others are looking at it like, okay, I'm not just here as lunch meat. Let me do part of my job too. So yeah, I get all that. Okay, hold on. Yeah, we got a lot of comments. Keep them coming, y'all. Uh, it's not me. You can get it again. Having people had the regular food more than once. I said that last week on the show. Yep. Yes, they have. So I continue to be safe and careful as possible. And yes, Nicole knows people who have had the virus, so she absolutely understands that. Wow, are you serious? No children? That's why I don't trust it. Yep. Neither one have been tested on children, to my knowledge. I'm not talking about people that have already had the virus. I'm talking about how can people feel like they are immune by going out there and having these great big COVID parties and stuff like that, and then bringing it home to their elderly or their aging parents. It makes it look like they're just trying to get rid of them because they don't want to care for them later. Now that's an interesting take on that. Realm of possibility for some people, I'm afraid. I don't want to put that out there as a theory or whatnot, but some people they probably don't care to that degree. It's a sad truth of the matter. They look at it like, okay, you done lived your life, let me do me. And under normal circumstances, most elderly people would agree with that. But these are not normal times, people. Desperate times take desperate. I believe it goes something to that effect, right? These are desperate times. Okay, hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get to all the comments, people. Uh, I'm not. Oh no, we already went there. Okay, Willis saying kids, for the most part, if they don't have any underlying issues, they should be fine. The people who should take are those with underlying health issues. And the way they have it set up now, Will, to my understanding, they will get the vaccine before the kids, but the kids will get it before people 18 to 30, and for people basically in our age range. It's basically set up to go the essential workers first, basically the military type people, and then the elderly that's in the nursing homes and whatnot. Then they're looking to give it to the essential workers, the grocery store people, and all that type of stuff, and the teachers, the kids. Then they're looking to give it to the younger population, basically 18-35, and then the rest of us. That's how it's set up to my knowledge. You can look that up for yourself if you like. Um, what part of the population have they not tested the vaccine on? And then there's that. Like I said, there's 30 and 60,000 people in these test groups for the two people who have gave us information about the vaccine. But how many? What was the percentage of them who are African Americans, who are Latinos, who were Asians, so on and so forth? And out of those, how effective was the vaccine for that particular group? Was it 90% for them as well, or was it less, or was it more? These are things that we need to know. Will says, I agree. H2 is saying, yes, it has become a political issue. It has very much become a political issue, and that in itself is part of the problem. Marla saying, notice how since the election, so many of the Republican people are now coming online, are coming on TV talking about our count, our state needs to wear a mask. Not, but where were they when Dr. Fauci was telling them to wear a mask when Trump was saying not to? Yeah, it is interesting how some people are starting to switch up now that they see the current administration is on its way out and other ones coming in. It's definitely going to be a switch up, I think, once Joe takes over January 20th, because people that looked at it all crazy are starting to be like, Yeah, you know, Joe, you're right. And that's kind of crazy when they should have spoke up all along. Okay, if you think you don't know someone who has had it, well, I am right here, and thank God I got through it. But while I was going through it, I didn't feel like I would make it. So please be careful. And nigga, like I said, I want about to put your business out there, but yeah, I know you had it, and I know if I remember right, Big Red has had it as well, and maybe even Big Meech. It might have been all three of y'all had it if I remember correctly. But yeah, like I said, now I didn't put it out there, but I'm sure they don't mind people knowing. But yeah, like she said, just because you had it don't mean stop being careful about it. Okay, I can only speak on the state I live in. Understood, Will. You only know the main information from that. I get it, but like I said, I look at the different states, and as other people here on different states, feel free to answer that for Will as well. Y'all can speak for yourselves. I don't have to. Um, I look at it like the Bible tells us that children will rise up against their parents. They will have no love for them. Sad but true. The Bible does say that. The truth is the truth. Amen. Kids are carriers. That's why they do not get sick all the time. And I think that is a big part of the spread of virus. I mean, think about it. It's the combination of two things right now, I think. One, the fact that we're in colder temperatures, and most viruses, if not all viruses, I believe, in regards to the respiratory viruses, tend to spread more in indoor environments during the colder winter months. You can fact check me on that, Aim, if you're here. So yeah, there's that. And then the second thing is the fact that when school started, it seemed like the spread of the virus started, particularly with all the kids going to college, because those are some of the main areas of community spread right now, these college campuses. That's why some colleges are saying, okay, if you go home, stay home. Some are saying you should stay here, period. Don't go home. Some are saying, okay, if you're going, then you need to take a test before you leave. And when you come back, you need to take a test when you get back. There's all type of different ways that some of these campuses are looking at. Some are saying, okay, well, Thanksgiving here, semester over. We'll see y'all guys first of the year. It all depends on what area you're in and what school it is. It's all a big mess. Okay, Willis. And the problem is the Democrats are only wearing masks when the camera is on. Then I showed you proof of that. Yep, there is that. On the one hand, you got people, they're saying, yeah, wear your mask, wear your mask. But then when the camera's off, they're like, okay, that's just for my people. It's just for show. And it's not even that. It's some places where, okay, people will tell you, yeah, excuse me, y'all. Mouth's getting dry here. When I'm at work, I wear my mask. But as soon as I get off work, I'm not wearing that mask no more. I talked to somebody today and they basically said, I wear a mask because I'm required to wear one when I'm out in public. It's the law. But as soon as I'm not anywhere in the vicinity of that, I take that boy off and I ain't wearing it. Period. I'm fine and people around me fine. I ain't gonna worry about it. That's how some people feel about it, I'm afraid. We'll say facts about the kids, yep. I hate to say it, but it is more the Caucasian children that are having these COVID parties. I will not say that. I have to disagree with you, cuz. Like I said, you probably don't have the access to some of the videos that I have or that I see on my pages and on YouTube and whatnot, but no, it's not a color scenario. It's Hispanic people having parties, it's colored people having parties. Chicago alone. Look up Chicago COVID parties. There it is. And that's just Chicago. We can talk Houston. We can talk Philadelphia. They have these parties everywhere. It's not just Caucasian children. All these children think they Superman. Let's see. Nick said, I'll be back, y'all. Grandma do understood, Nick. Thanks for joining. Okay. If not busy, hey bitches, the remix with Derek 9:30 tonight. So basically, Derek, the other host of the Hey Bitches family, H2 and them will explain that when she does the remix at 9:30. They're gonna do a little after show. Y'all can join them then and probably add to this discussion. So that'll be good. Okay, sorry, hands are full. Remind me what to look for. I don't even remember, Amy. I'm so busy running through the comments now. Just roll with it. Will saying our people black are having parties every day on social. Exactly, Will. Exactly. Like I said, I just seen one on my Instagram yesterday. Underground party. They had a few people had masks, but most of them no social distancing, bumping and grinding, the money flowing, the strippers, the whole deal. And they was all black as me. And like I said, that's just one of several I see every week. Like I said, it's not a color issue. It's really not even a younger people issue. I've seen older people in some of these videos. People my age and even older having these crazy parties. I'm watching you and playing 2K. Ha ha. Way to multitask, bruh. Okay, like I said, I'm getting most of these comments. If I'm missing y'all comments, I apologize. But before I get too far into it, there is one issue that I do want to discuss as well. Bottom line is we still gotta work this out some kind of way, folks. We do. Let me take this comment and then go on to this next subject. I know our African American children, young adults, I should say, they get together and hang out and things like that. But I'm talking about people that are actually saying, I want to have a COVID party, come over, let's spread COVID to the people. I've seen that on TV, and it seems to always be white young people. Okay, she's talking about a specific party. And like I said, they definitely talked about this quite a bit when colleges started up early on. They basically had these COVID parties. And what they do is like, okay, I don't think COVID that big a deal. So yeah, we're gonna have these parties. If you have COVID, you don't have COVID, it don't matter. Come on through. We're gonna test the theory. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna catch this COVID because we know from what we do know of the news that most people our age is not dying from the virus. And they believe in this herd immunity thing. Now I've had that discussion with people about what herd immunity is. Please look it up. It's exhausting to even have that discussion right now. But herd immunity, basically where if most people get it, that should make everybody straight long term. Anyway, so yeah, they have these parties and they basically do it like any traditional party. They dancing, they hugging, they doing all the things they do at these wild college parties. And basically, some of them even have bets like, okay, I bet you get it, I bet you don't get it. It's kind of out of hand. Like I said, it's what they have reported that these college campuses where they're happening, they show people who are of non-color having these parties. But like I said, because I know people from various walks of life, I can tell you, cousin, some of these black campuses, they had these parties as well. It absolutely did happen. And probably still might be happening for all I know. Yep, our age big time. Yeah, Will knows he's a particular age like myself. So yeah, like I said, some people they basically look at it as fake news, so to speak. That we are blowing this out of proportion. These people that work at the hospital, and some of y'all on my page, y'all do work at some of these medical facilities. Feel free to chime in your 2 cents on it. Y'all witness it firsthand every day. Is it real? Is it as bad as they saying? Is it all basically what they're reporting? By all means, put your 2 cents in on it. But anyway, like I said, I'm about to go to this other subject. Like I said, I originally was going to do the grab bag this week, where I basically take my bag and put in different topics and kind of expound on them. I reached out to people that, okay, if you had anything to add to the bag, by all means, let me know, and we'll add your subjects to the bag and see what we come up with. But one person in particular, they came up with a very interesting discussion, and I decided to scrap all the rest of the bag and have that discussion. So, that being said, the topic is gay parents. Now, I know as I put this up here, some of y'all gonna feel some type of way. I will say now, please, 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 people, let's try to have a respectful discussion on this topic, okay? Now, from my understanding, this person, in regards to gay parents, they basically want to know people's thoughts and understanding on people who are gay, who are parents, and not necessarily parents of kids who are also gay. They are just parents who happen to be gay. And they want to know what people's thoughts and understanding is about that. Now, of course, because there are people who are Bible scholars who look at the show and people who are Christian people, and of course, we as Christians are taught that basically homosexuality is not a good thing. It is a sin, what have you. So basically, you may base your opinion strictly off of that. And if you do, I understand. Like I said, I grew up in church and whatnot. But in the same token, we should be able to have educated discussion about this. Okay, the person who put this subject out to me, they wanted to have an honest understanding and talk about it. So let's do that. So let's see. We got a comment. Let's see what we got here. Um, LOA. I don't know if that's about what I just brought up or if that was something else we discussed previous to that. Nonetheless, let us move on. So here's the thing. Now, basically, we all have challenges right now because of 2020 in regards to how we contend with anything. So that probably plays part in this. But in the end, a lot of people talk about how kids are growing up and they have determined that they choose to love same sex or both sexes or whatever the case may be. Now, a lot of people have done discussions and talks about that. This is kind of the reverse of the scenario. It's not the kids who are talking about their sexuality, but their parents. And bottom line is, I say it depends on what aspect of this you are looking into. There's different layers to this subject. Okay. You look at, okay, gay parents. Now, some parents have one parent households and what have you. So let's just say, are you the parent who is gay and the child lives with you, but the other parent is not gay and they have influence in your child? Does that come into play? Or is it the reverse? You are the parent who is not gay, but yet the other parent is gay and your child is influenced by what goes on in their life. Is that an issue? Do some of you look at it as, okay, because this parent is gay, your thought process is, okay, well, these kids are going to grow up to be gay as well. Do you feel like that might be the case? Are you looking at it as, okay, just because the parents are gay, do they have any influence on the sexuality or how their child chooses to live their life from that point forward? Do they influence them because they're gay? In other words, are there parents out here who are gay and saying, okay, you should live like me? You should be gay as well. There's a variety of different aspects to this, but basically, I'm trying to get people's opinion on this. Because, like I said, it was put in the grab bag, so we putting it out here to the general audience. What do you think? Okay, cousin says she would like to come in and discuss. Okay, cousin, I will send you the invite. Stand by, y'all. Doing some technical stuff here. Perhaps my cousin, Dr. Facey, will join us in discussing this matter. I'm still here with you guys, so stand by, folks. Stand by. All right. Hold on, y'all. All right, I'm back. Okay, cuz, you got the invite. Let me know if you get it. Okay, Amy is weighing in on this. Amy says, gay parents are not so different from heterosexual parents because they are just people who like the same sex. I would assume that a same-sex household will be more kind and open-minded. I'm fine, y'all. Mouth is dry. Okay. All right. Let's see. I sent it to your messenger, Marla. So check your messenger. Okay. Let's go back to this comment. I would assume that a same-sex household will be more kind and open-minded. Yeah, that is one way to look at it. Because think about it. In order to be a person who is living an alternative lifestyle, you would want people to look at you fairly. So in terms of that, you would teach your child to be more open-minded as well, you would think. It makes sense to me. Like I said, I don't have any children, of course. But yeah, like I said, like most people nowadays, if my child came to me and told me they choose to live their life in that way, I, of course, would tell them about how I was taught and what I believe, but ultimately it would be their decision to determine how they ultimately want to live their life. And of course, they still my child regardless, so I'm going to love them. Yes. What's up, E? Let's see. That is Coach V. What up, Coach V? What's going on? We are talking gay parents. Do you think it's a good thing that parents are with their children? They're gay. Are you concerned about what they may be teaching them, what they may not be teaching them? What's y'all guys' opinion on that? Anybody else got any opinions on it? Feel free to voice them here. Like I said, the subject was put out there as part of my grab bag. Person wanted to know what people thought about people who are parents who are gay and their thoughts in terms of how they live their life and how that affects their children. So that is the question. What are your thoughts? Will is checking in. He's saying, well, speaking from seeing how this worked, watch my sister who was in a relationship, her kids said that it messed their minds up. But I personally don't agree. As in, he does not agree with people being gay parents with that lifestyle. Yeah, like I said, I myself do not practice that lifestyle. And like I said, I was born and grew up in the church, so I have my feelings about that. But ultimately, people are still people. I do not criticize them. I do not judge them for their lifestyle choices. I would, however, have an issue if you are forcing those lifestyle choices on your child. Now that I would have a problem with. That's just like how you have the parents and they are, let's say they're practicing KKK people, for instance. We are in the Klan. This family is a Klan family. We hate black people. You are my child. You will also hate black people. I will teach you that, and it is required in this household that you get you a little sheet and put it on and whatnot. I don't think that is right. You should not influence your children in that way. So if you, as a gay parent, are teaching your child to be that way in regards to that I would have an issue with. And yeah, I see you, cuz I'm about to put you on in a second. Let me get this comment first. I think that there are so many foster children in the system and children waiting to be adopted that they stay there because great couples are denied adoption and foster care. And yes, that's another issue in regards to that. And we got a perfect person to talk on that, and she will explain to you why she would be ideal to discuss that. As I bring Dr. Mark.
I'm looking kind of rough, people. So don't take. I wasn't planning on actually doing this, but when it comes to this subject, it's very touching. I'm not coming on as a minister right now, although I'm not laying my belief down by any means. But what I wanted to say is that when I stand in no judgment. First of all, I don't have a heaven or hell to put anybody in. But when it comes to the word of God, you know, male and female are to marry and they are to have children and reprocreate. But because of the way sin has come into this camp, and has kind of overtaken in certain things, we still have children out there that need to be raised. We still have children that need to be loved, and I don't have I have an opinion, but I'm not going to give my opinion. I'm going to say what thus saith the Lord about it. But at the same time, what I really want to say is, if you can raise up a boy or a girl and raise them as a boy and a girl and allow God to do what He's going to do in their lives without putting your own spin of the homosexuality or the lesbian, being a lesbian, in on that child to make them become that way, then yeah, it's nothing wrong with loving a child and giving them a good home, or having, I'm kind of, even the whole little going and having surrogate mom and doing all that kind of stuff. I don't necessarily myself. I mean, I don't necessarily think that's what you have to do. There's, like somebody put on there, that there's plenty of children out there that need a good home and adopt. You can raise a kid and adopt a kid, because it's really unnatural for you to go and have your own biological children when you're gay. I mean, when them, because two women can't have their own child. without a man. A man can't have their own children without a woman. So it'd be unnatural to come together and say, oh, both of these came from me, because they don't. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, but as far as parenting, you got to walk a fine line. You can't. I don't think it's natural for your kids to come up in there and y'all laying in the bed and all that together and feeling and touching. And there's certain things that, even as a heterosexual relationship, I don't let my kids see a whole lot of any of that. May kiss me in the morning, and what I'm saying, a little peck here or there, but they don't. My kids never grew up with me just all over their daddy and all that kind of stuff. So that doesn't really. You can raise your kids and not have all of that going on. Go ahead. I mean, you can go ahead and talk. I just wanted to. I'll kind of fill out where the conversations are going.
Oh no, keep going.
Okay. And so therefore I think that's important, that we don't mix up the child's mind, because when you mix up a child's mind, they're already confused, because in the natural instance of the mind that God gives them when they're born, they born male or female, so they already take a side to what they know a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So when you see this unnatural affection or unnatural relationships, are relationships that aren't quote unquote normal, then that makes that kid feel like that it's okay. I'm not saying it's not. Well, I am going to say it's not okay. It ain't okay. Spiritually it's not. But when you put that in a kid early, then you give that kid a certain amount of confusion. They automatically become confused. I'm not saying they're going to turn around and be gay, because sometimes they get so angry because two people are like that they turn around and start having hatred towards it. So you gotta figure out what kind of seeds you're planting when you make a decision to bring a child in the world, or bring another person's child into that type of relationship. Because many times you can bring, as in foster kids, you can bring a child in your home, but they've already been mixed up with a whole lot of other stuff. So you're bringing them on top of another situation that's not quote unquote normal to them, and they end up resenting it all. So you have to be careful with what you bring into the situation for a child, because you want your child to grow healthy. I would think, if you love a child, you want them to grow healthy, you want them to grow strong, you want them to grow with the fact of being able to be normal. I'm not saying because you're gay you're not normal. I believe that gay people, homosexuals, whatever you want to. I'm not all into all the titles. What if you're just straight not heterosexual, and you whatever you are, I believe that you should be able to have the freedoms that anybody else has. I don't think if you in a relationship with somebody and you buy a house, and because the person dies, you should still have the right to the house, just like another couple. It shouldn't be no different like that. Healthcare, all that kind of stuff. You have the same rights as everybody else. But when it comes to raising children, I'm not saying you don't have rights, but you have to be careful with what you're planting in that child. You definitely do, because even as a hetero, we have to be careful. Even as straight couples, you got to be careful what you feed your kids, and I'm naturally, but spiritually, you have to be careful. And when you plant seeds if you plant seeds of sin in your children and expect them to grow up on a whole acceptance level, they may accept some of the stuff because they don't know any better. But when they get out amongst them and learn, and they happen to learn, and someone teach them and they learn the Bible, then they can turn around and become very frustrated with the life you may have given them in that kind of way. Even if you can give them the cars and everything else that you may give them, but you got to make sure that you're giving them a sure foundation that's not going to cause them to slumber and fall or fail because of the unnatural stuff that you've allowed to go on. Now, I don't want nobody to come back at me and like, but I don't mind sharing what I know the Word of God says.
All right. Okay. Amy says, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Amy says, are hetero. The minority, so kids use as more common because they saw in the activity, just like they in the hetero.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right when it comes to accidentally seeing your parents, doing the doers. All kids have run in on that type of stuff sometime. But I'm talking about I'm talking about all, because sometimes, and I hate to say this, and especially men that are gay, a lot of times they really flaunt being overly try to flaunt more femininity things than I mean, like, look at me. I'm really not dressed for this, but I walk around my house, you know, like this. But a lot of times the man that tries to be extra feminine, they more feminine than I am on a regular day. So a lot of times that I feel like that can be a confusion in itself. If you have, oh girl, and sometimes they get to the point where they're actually, it's not that they're, that may be their natural, but I'm saying it's not really how most women all, act on a daily basis all the time, and so sometimes the kids already can be confused. But I'm talking about people, when you're not having your own babies, they're not coming from you, and two men can't have a baby. So that means they're bringing in a child from someone else. So when you bring in someone else's child, whether you're doing it for love, whether you're doing it for whatever the reasons is, you have to be extra careful what seeds you're planting in them, because not only are you planting what you're giving them, but you're also dealing with something someone else has already planted in them. You see what I'm saying? Whether you get foster children that are older or whether you even get a newborn baby. Newborn babies come with their own seeds that are planted in them. You see what I'm saying? So you don't know what kind of, tears and stuff you're going to have to deal with. So I'm saying, just in doing that, always be mindful. Always be mindful of what you're going to be planting in that child. Yeah, you can
Okay.
plant love.
Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Comment. Okay. I disagree. I think it
way.
way.
For both
For both
male
male
and
and
female,
female,
I've
I've
been
been
most
most
be
doing
doing the
the
part to
to
other
other
than
than
the
say.
That's true.
Hold on.
Yeah. Will, you right. You right.
More what you see than what they hear.
And kids go by more of what they see. Yeah. Right. They do. They do. If they see that all the time, then you're planting something in them that allows them to think that that's just okay and that's normal. And so in a way, you're kind of twisting their, not that you're trying to, but you're really kind of giving them like no choice. You're not giving them a choice in the matter, because that becomes normal for them. And so they may not have a problem. They may not even have the ability to go, okay, I'm a male child. Now I want to have a girlfriend, but they may not feel comfortable with having the girlfriend because they've been raised with two male men. You know what I'm saying? Two men as their mom and their dad and their dad, or their, I don't even know, some people say dad and dad. Sometimes they're in homes where they call the dad a mom and then a dad. I don't know. I don't even want to get into that. In case y'all do, I think that's part of it can be fusing. We had a kid up the street that got in my car when my grandkids were here, and I was taking them to school, and his name was Mason, and Mason said, he got in the car and he was talking to my grandson, and he said, "Oh, I have two moms." And I'm automatically thinking, okay, he's got a stepmom and a mom. You know what I'm saying? And then he said, "No, my moms are gay, or my moms are lesbians, and so I have two moms." And he said, "But I have a dad and I have another mom too." So he got a dad and a stepmom as well. So he says, "I got three moms." And I'm thinking, and even though he's accepting it like that, later on, we got in the car about something else. I was taking him to school one other morning. And he said, "Well, one of my moms got mad and slapped the other mom." He was just telling it. I was like, "Well, I'll pray for him," like that. But I could tell his confusion, even in the midst of that. Like, not the fighting part. That's already bad enough, but we heterosexuals do that all the time. So it's no different. But what I'm saying is the confusion of having all those moms. And I said, "Well, I asked him, I said, how do you differentiate your mom from your mom?" And he says, "I call one mom and I call the other one mama." The mama's the actual female, and the mom is the one that's not the female. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I didn't have nothing negative to say because I'm not going to do that to a child. But I could tell that he's already confused. I can't hear you.
Okay, now
Okay, now hold on.
we got some
Some comments.
understand
Understand
that
they
people are going
are going
gender role for
for
children
children
because of
because of their
own
own from.
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
it's
for
for me.
me.
I'm
I'm
very
very
okay with
with
gay
gay
parents
parents.
and their
How
child. There's an yep. I
So one needs to. Do I need to mute the mic when you're talking and you need to?
yeah.
So how do I mute my mic? I'm not as good on this stuff. Can you tell me where the mute
Okay.
button?
When you see my
Okay, got it. Okay.
okay. Okay. Can y'all hear me now? Okay, I hear nothing. Hold on. Okay. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. And kids are so mean. These kids go to school and get teased. True. Okay, go on.
And you know, teasing. The bullying part is a big thing that the kids have to go through because my grandson actually had to stop a fight between a kid bullying Mason too, um, because Mason went and talked to people about that type of stuff, and though the kids were bullying him, you got a mommy that looks like a man, you know, and stuff like that. And I'm not saying it happens in all schools, and you know, I mean that could be just a situation, a particular situation, but I just feel like that's probably more normal in a situation, especially when it's being laid out front. And I'm not saying gays or lesbians and homosexuals and stuff have to hide the fact that they both love the child and stuff, but I think it does bring some amount of teasing and taunting from other kids that don't understand. And I always told my grandkids, you know, accept Mason how he is because it's not none of this is his fault, and you know, take up for him if you see somebody picking on him and stuff, you know, because that's not right. But I do understand what you're saying. That's Will. Hey, Will. Yeah. Oh, unmute. Oh,
Okay, so yeah. Basically, like I said, there's a lot of different layers to this thing. It's hard to have that discussion and in the end it be to where you just focus or concentrate on one particular part of it. It's a lot of different little aspects that go into what constitutes this whole gay parents and gay household scenario. So it's kind of hard to have this discussion in this small period of time. So for you guys that want to get into it, perhaps H2 will take up that part of the show. Okay, hold on. H2 has a comment. That's not true at all, Amy is saying. Oh, well, H2 was saying to Amy. And basically, she's saying in regards to the world is changing, y'all kids will bully each other, sure, but it's no longer like it was when we came up. H2 disagrees. Like I said, I'm not a parent myself, but I do understand from what my cousin's saying. It would, to some degree, if not cause confusion with the child in the household, the people that deal with the child might cause confusion as well. I could understand why that would be the case. All right, go ahead.
go ahead.
Also, I had a situation with one of my ex's ex's sister who was lesbian. Well, she was started out. She had a son, okay, and then the son, and I guess when he was about 6 years old, she got into a relationship with a female and became a lesbian, and she was in a lesbian relationship for almost 4 years. And I won't mention his name, but I felt like, you know, he wanted to go and live with his grandma at one point because he felt, and then the mom was a principal of a school at that. So he would get teased, and he went and begged to live with his grandma because it became an embarrassment to him They knew about the relationship with the other person. You know what I'm saying? With who his mother was dating or seeing, and it became very hard on him because he was having to go to school with this situation, and he knew that his mom had him and had his father in his life. She was father. You're all heterosexuality, and you go into a lesbian relationship, and then she gets saved, gets married to a preacher, ends up becoming a preacher herself, and now she's back into the heterosexual life. And I know God can do it. You know what I'm saying? I know he can change those that want to be changed or whatever, all of that. But I still say that there was a major confusion because you bouncing, and I've seen, my daughter's had friends where they're gay. I have a niece that's had 5 kids, and in the midst of it, she considers herself a lesbian. She does all the things, that cuts her hair, does all of that, but has had 5 children. Lesbian, have a child. Going back to lesbian, have a child. So my point is, that's already confusing. You're confused as an adult. So how, you know what I'm saying? How can you not expect your children to be confused if you bouncing back and forth into relationships between wanting to be a lesbian and wanting to be heterosexual? There's a lot of things that people do with their kids and confuse them like that.
Okay, we got another comment here. H2 is saying, I'm the father of 3. I can only speak for me. It didn't happen in my house. You're going to have to elaborate on that, H2. I get what you're saying, but you basically need to explain it to folks a little bit. I don't want to put your business out there, but you go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, cuz.
Oh no, what I was going to ask, you calling her H3 or H? What did you call her? H2. Okay. So this is a male, obviously a male. I'm a father of 3, and I only speak for me. Right. I mean, and I think that's really true to most people. I think you can only speak of what you know of, because every situation isn't like, just like every marriage of a man and a woman ain't alike. Because I mean, and that's where I don't stand in judgment to that degree, because when it comes to that, everybody has to, we all going to stand in the judgment of Christ at some point. And I can't say that your sin is any greater than my sin or my sin's any greater than yours. So I'm not in judgment of any of that. All I can say is some of the things that I've seen as a foster parent. Hold on, unmute.
Okay, Amy saying, what I mean is 20, 30 years ago, if you had 2 moms or 2 dads, you were a black sheep, a weird kid. Now there's a plethora of sexualities and genders that are in the open. Kids are likely to be exposed to this earlier on, leaving them less likely to bully, in my opinion. And H2 is saying, my children are not confused because I sat down with mine and explained to them who daddy was. Go ahead, cuz.
But okay, so you're saying that your children aren't confused because you explained to them who daddy was. So your name's Helena. H2 is Helena, and I may not even be saying that right. I'm not sure. I don't want to. Oh, but if that's what, so are you? If you don't mind me asking, are you a man? A man? Or are you one that have had some type of surgery? I don't understand completely, because you said you explained to them who daddy is.
Yeah, like I said, H2, I'd rather you put your own business out there in the street. If you want to expound on that further for the discussion, be my guest. If not, then we'll just leave it at that. But okay, hold on. Honestly, though, I'm having trouble with this conversation right now because I'm disagreeing so much with the language and the allegories being used. Yeah, Amy, you should expound on that as well. I get what you're saying, but put it out. Basically, go with what you specifically have. Okay, H2 is saying, okay. All right, that helps in the part of the situation that you're discussing. So go ahead, cuz, go from there.
Okay, so I'm a man, I'm a drag queen. So your children know that you're daddy. Got it. Now, again, when I speak of Marla and what I think, drag queen, female illusionist. Okay. Okay. And I'm not really familiar with a whole lot of this. I'm going to be honest with you. When it comes to some of this, I know what a drag queen does. You know what I'm saying, to some degree. So I don't want to get all into it, the semantics of that. I'm just going to say, okay, somebody said they're not. Okay, but anyway, what I'm going to say is that I don't know your children, so I can't speak for them. If you've told them the truth of who you are and what you do for your living and all that kind of stuff, I don't, you know, I probably, because I grew up in foster care, I probably would really say that it would have been a major confusion for me because of all the other stuff that I had been through. So that's what I'm saying when people go and bring kids into their families, and they're bringing kids that already have been rejected, distressed, abused, sometimes sexually abused, sometimes emotionally and physically abused, and then you bring another situation on top of that. Even though if these are your natural children, then I guess you know what I'm saying, the understanding of everything may be a lot easier. But if you're bringing other people's children into your home that you may have got them when they're 6 or 7 or 9 or 11 or whatever, even though they may say, yeah, I understand, I explained it the way I want them to understand it, but do they really understand it? And is there stuff in the back of their minds that they don't quite understand, but may even be fearful, not like you're going to beat them, but just in their own mind be fearful to really come out and explain, hey, I really don't agree with this, or I really don't understand this, or how can it depends on how you are with your kids. I can't say nothing because I don't know your kids and I don't know you. So that's just the best honest way I can say that. But as far as what, I just still stick, my opinion's always going to be that of the holy word. And so for me, as a minister of the gospel, I can't agree with any of those lifestyles except it be man and woman. But I don't have a heaven or hell to put you in. I don't have any. That's not my place as far as to tell you that you're going to go to hell and I'm going to go to heaven. All I'm going to say is we have a God that we have to look at. We have to come in front of, and we have to stand and see. And He's going to say, did you go against my commandments? Did you do these things? Did you know what I'm saying? Well, He already gonna know you did them, but I mean, He gonna give you a chance to ask you. You know what I'm saying? So it's really up to you as an individual on what your relationship is. I do know a lot of my people that I do know that are homosexuals and lesbians and stuff. A lot of them have a lack of relationship with Christ a lot of times, and because that they feel like the church has kind of X'd them out, and extradited them out. But God says to love all people. He says for me to love you regardless, because it's not my life, it's your life. All I can do is extend that salvation to you and ask that you read the word and know, and get it for yourself. After that is really up to you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't the I don't know if I probably wasn't no help in this situation, but I just feel like that really all a person can give you is what the Spirit of God tells me to. And outside of that, it's really on you.
Okay, I want you to address these two things, and then I need to get to wrapping this up here. I'm already over time, so I'm not going to say that wasn't talked about, and who hasn't gone against His commandments. Okay, cuz, go ahead.
And that's what I'm saying. Everybody has gone against His commandments in some way, form, or fashion. And we're all going to be held accountable for how we go against His commandments. And we're all going to be held accountable that once we know to do right and fail to do right, to the Bible says to it's still a sin. No matter whether we decide we just ain't going to obey Him, or whether we consciously make an effort to say, you know what, God, I'm going to start obeying your commandments. I'm going to start doing, so it's your choice. It's really your choice. It's not mine. And it's not mine to sit up there and beat you over the head with it. It's your choice.
Sorry, I wasn't prepared to go deep dive into this conversation like it's going. And like I said, my time restraints is going. So I'm gonna address these last couple comments and then we're gonna start to wrap it up here. But clearly this is something we could definitely have a real deep discussion about. I mean, these two issues alone here. Let me post them here. The churches have expelled and repelled gay people for the most part. And there are so many terrible heterosexual parents and foster parents. And although I am not gay, even gay people, every gay person I have ever come across are so loving. So I respectfully disagree. Okay, I'm gonna let you address that, and then like I said, I'm gonna start to wrap it up, y'all.
And Nicole, I really do agree with you. I really, really do. I mean, I have met personally. That's why I said it's not a. I'm not. I'm not pointing a finger and saying that that people shouldn't have them. I've been in foster care. I was raised in foster care from the time I was 2.5 years old all the way up till graduation. Okay, so I understand. I've been in different homes. I've been in homes where people have sexually assaulted. I've been in homes where people have actually, you know, hit you for no reason, called you out your name, talked about your parents, all those kind of things. I've suffered through the hands of the foster care system. I also have been in terrible heterosexual relationships. So I understand, but it really boils down to the heart of the person and to their relationship with God. It really has nothing to do with what other people think or say. And so I do agree with you that sometimes the parent, you can be in any kind of relationship and have it be horrible for the kid. I've seen some gay marriages or gay situations where they haven't necessarily treated the children with the greatest of love either. I've seen Caucasians get black children, and inside the home, when no one's watching, they're treated differently, and when everybody's watching, it's, oh, I got these poor kids, these poor black kids from wherever. So it just depends on the heart of the person.
H2, you having your remix show 9:30 this evening. Please put that information before we go so people can catch you. Perhaps we can take up the conversation there before I head out. One last comment from Nikki. I work in a teenage group home for years, so trust me, I really do understand. I'm an advocate for abused children, which is awesome. Like I said, Nikki is an awesome person in general. And like I said, yes, she has a book. I'm gonna let you address that momentarily. Let me run through my stuff here. Like I said, I got my people in the Nighthawk Network. So as you listen to me and have this discussion, thank you very much. I want to give them some quick shout outs before we head out. I said we got Helena show, Hey Bitches, comes on Monday night, 9 p.m., hosted by Helena Hologram, and the remix hosted by Derek, who, as you know, is also Helena. She'll explain all that in the broadcast. Addition T with Big Meech. We got Big Meech, Auntie Nikki, and Big Red. They usually have their shows on the weekend because, as Meech will tell you, he's at the Donut Factory right now. So he will do his show probably Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We got Stan Mason behind the blue curtain. He does the show Saturday 11 a.m. They talk about all things policing and involving police situations. They have several people who are presently police officers or at one point were police officers. They talk about a variety of things in regards to that. We got For Show Radio with me, BL Martin and Cardinal. They're on hiatus right now. They'll be back in November, the end, to have some discussions. November 27th, I believe it is. We got Monumental Moments in God's Word with my cousin there, Dr. Marla Facey, Thursday nights, and she will tell you about God's Word and her thoughts and processes on that. We got What the Bucks that me and my cousin do together, and basically that show comes whenever we the mood hits us and we figure things out. So yeah, we got that show going. And if I missed anybody else's show, I apologize. One last thing I want to get into before we leave. We have my cousin's sock drive. Let me show you this info right quick. Hold on. Let's see. There it is right there. That is her sock drive that she is having. I'm going to now let her address what it is about right quickly. Hold on, cuz. Let me get you back on the screen correctly here. And you gonna have at it.
Okay, first things first, the sock drive. So I'm having a sock drive here. I'm an ambassador for the state of Maryland for Come On In Incorporations. Now, Come On In Incorporations is an incorporation that gives to the homeless, to the downtrodden, to the homeless shelters, and things like that. And so, because I'm an ambassador, I have to pick out programs that I want to donate to, and I put a donation program together for a particular situation. And so I've chosen the sock drive this year. And the sock drive is for us to get together, donate many socks to different uh, different shelters where the homeless people can come into the shelters and get the socks. And so, because at first I was thinking about going and handing out the socks to the homeless, but it's going to be too cold in the winter. And with COVID going on and things like that, it's probably not the safest thing. So I'm going to the shelters, dropping off amounts to this shelter, certain amount to that shelter, and like that, so that the homeless people can come into the shelter and actually get the socks. So that's one thing. And we have over 750 socks already donated. People have been a blessing to the sock drive. So if any of you all would like to donate, I greatly appreciate it. And so this is going into the state of Maryland. But I will be doing, if say all of a sudden Eric says, well, I'd like to do a sock drive too, then I would donate to his cause as well, because it's not just about it being my state, your state, it's to help the homeless no matter what state they're in. So if anybody that would like to donate, please feel free to. We appreciate all donations. I don't care if it's $1 buy $1 pair of socks. Okay. So we don't turn down anything. We appreciate anything and all things. So to God be the glory for that. And then secondly, I don't know if you can see my wall here, but I have written, and I'm going to unplug real quick. I've written 3 books actually, but 2 specifically. That's my picture. Okay, this book here is called I Don't Have a daddy or mommy a mommy or daddy anymore. And that book is actually for people that are raising kids that are not their own. Sort of the subject that we're talking about. Some of them are children that maybe have come from homosexual and different types of situations. So that's one book that when people get them in their homes, get different kids in their homes, what are they implanting in the children, and the ages in which the children are, what they're how they process a lot of things. So I am a counselor, so I do have my degree. I just got my doctorate. And then this is my other one. It's called Say Amen to the Healed You. And this is dealing with people this is dealing with learning to be that you come from a dysfunctional family, things that are not particularly right or whatever, and how you go through life and learn to be healed by the power of God, to heal you from all dangers, harms, and stuff, like things that you've been through. Then this book is my own personal biography. I tell the story of my life from the time I was 2.5, going into foster care, all the way up till I graduated. All the way up to age 50, where it takes you through my life and the different things that I had to go through and things I had to deal with, and learn to forgive, and learn all those types of things to teach me and get me in the place that I am now. So to God be the glory. Those books can all be found on Amazon. And if you need any information, I can always make sure you get it. Thank you. Oh, unmute.
All right.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, hold on. There we go. All right, so like I said, I'm about to wrap up for the evening. There was one last bit of business I was supposed to contend with today. I was supposed to do a little song. I was basically dared to by one of my player partners here in the Nighthawk Network. I am not going to completely renege on that, but I am going to do it tomorrow. When I do my show tomorrow, I will do it. I'm not going to do it tonight. Like I said, we already ran over time. And y'all know I'm missing This Is Us, and you know I love that show. I got it taping, so I'm okay. But in the meanwhile, like I said, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank y'all for a very lively discussion. Like I said, there was a lot to talk about on that one, obviously, and perhaps we should get into it again at some point. But in the meanwhile, y'all helping me out with my issues and trying to figure out what my next movie is. I appreciate the comments for that as well. So shout out to all my people in the Nighthawk Network. You do your shows, be blessed, and thank you for all the support that you've given me on your platforms as well. Like I said, my cousin, she is doing Monumental Moments on Thursday, and she's also doing Bible study Zoom classes on Sunday, Monday as well. You want to speak on that real quick, cuz?
Yes, I can always send the link out, and it's a Zoom Bible study. We go into the Word of God and actually break things down. That's why I have the mindset of saying, yes, things are a sin, but God and God alone can take you out of those sins and help us to become better people. And it's not saying that you're not good with kids. I don't mean it like that, but just it'll help you. It can help you to heal some things in our lives where we can become what God has called us to be. That's all. So we're going to be in Bible lessons, and we're talking about the women of the Bible. That's what we're teaching on right now. All the different women in the Bible that make us to be strong, and things that we can make our life, pattern our lives after, the theories and the different things that women had to go through even back then. So y'all can join me. It's 9 o'clock. I forgot. It's 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 8 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Mountain, and 6 o'clock Pacific. And I have people all over every time zone comes on. So I praise God for that. So you're more than welcome to join us.
Okay, so yeah, thanks guys for checking out the show. One last comment. Thank you, cuz. I appreciate you coming on. What up, cousin? Great job, you and your guest. Thank you, cousin Deb. I appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to sign off for you, cuz. I will talk to you soon. And you guys, thanks again for joining in to Get Off My Lawn Live. We will be on again tomorrow at 9 p.m., I believe. No, actually 8 p.m. 8 p.m. we're going to come on. We're going to talk some sports with my guy, Hugh Lee. So tune in for that. Until then, thank you all. Please be safe. Please do what you need to do to get through these troubled times. Wear your mask, hand sanitize, social distance. Do what you need to do to come home the way you left and have everybody be safe. Until next time, y'all, this was Get Off My Lawn Live. I love you. Peace out.